Welcome to our next street along. We're going to do something that is a smaller project this time. They're super easy to make and they are called love socks. This pattern is so adorable. I've obsessed over it for a long time. This is written by Devin Clement. And I love these because they make it's a useful project because you can keep your feet warm. But they also make a great gift because there's a heart on the heel. It's so cute. You can send it to somebody and it can be like a hug for their feet. Love it. Okay, so I am using Independent Street yarn. The base is called Foot Bliss, and the three colors I'm using is Toasted Marshmallow, Granite, and Raspberry Mocha. So, of course, I have cheated and I'm a little bit ahead already into this project. And I have cast it on for 2 at a time using the magic loop. And I also used the long tail cast on in rib. So the long tail cast on in rib, I go into a great detail on that particular cast on in my Craftsy class called 40 Ways to Cast On and Bind Off. So I'm not going to go into that here. But it is one of my favorite cast-ons, and I did it loosely here in this case because it's going to be the top of the sock. We are doing cuff down socks. So you kind of want to do it a little bit loosely, and then once you get it, in a couple of rows in the ribbing, then you can just kind of go for it. But if you need to learn how to do the 2 at a time cast on, then visit the website auroratalksknit.com and look for, I think it's under tutorials, and you'll find a video that's called 2 at a time cast on. So you're going to need to learn how to do the long tail cast on and rib, and then you're also going to go need and watch that video on my website to show you how to cast on for 2 at a time in the magic loop, and it'll give you all the supplies and all that stuff that you need. All right, so let's take a peek at what I have done ahead of time. All right, so here is how far I've gotten. Oh my God, they're so cute. This little stripe is just super killer. And I'm loving like the little variegation that you can see in here in this toasted marshmallow. Oh my God, this is just, it's so cute. The contrast is so super great. I'm just loving every minute of it. Okay, so I want to chat with you guys a little bit about changing colors in this pattern. So there's 2 things I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to, which way you move your yarn when you're switching colors, and also how to avoid the little jog that happens. It looks kind of pixelated when when the stripes join together in the round, and of course I forgot one. What? Aurora's knitting isn't perfect. So I'll show you what it's not supposed to look like, or what happens when you forget to do the little slip stitch so that you get an actual like step in your stripe instead of it being continuous. All right, so this pattern calls for 8 stripes in the gray color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm about to start my 8th stripe, and then after I start my 8th stripe, after I'm done with my 8th stripe, then I get to do the heel flap. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. Oh, by the way, because this is 2 colors, okay, and 2 at a time, I've got 4 balls of yarn right here, all right? So what I do is I take the 2 balls for the right sock and I put them in a project bag. Then I take the 2 balls attached to the left sock and I put them in a different project bag. If you put them all together, then they get wrapped up and turned around each other and all twisted together, and it is a huge pain to untangle. no fun. So definitely separate the 2 balls for the left sock in one and 2 balls for the right sock in the other one. That way they're separated and then they get wrapped around each other, but it's easy just to untwist those 2 and then it doesn't turn into that big jumbled mess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scoot these over here. So right now I am about to start my gray color again. So let's just take a peek at what we've got going on here. So I have the gray, which is attached down under there, okay, from where I used it last. And then I've got my cream color here. So what I want to do is the cream color now needs to be in the middle. Obviously, we don't want to put it out here like this because if we start knitting, then your live yarn is on the outside of your work. And when you pull it up, there's going to be a stripe of this yarn on the outside. So you want to just basically take the color you're ending with and kind of put it over the top of the color that you're going to start with. Now, when you take this yarn, the gray here, you can see that it will go around that other strand of yarn and that strand will be in the middle. So now I'm just going to go ahead and, so I've also performed like a little twist with these 2, okay? So the new color is on top of the old color and I'm just going to put it right, oh actually I'm just going to put it over the back side like this, okay, because I'm going to knit. So it's over the top, I'm going to put it over the back just like that. And then I'm going to grab this back needle and I'm going to bring it around here just like this. And then using that first color, I'm going to go ahead and knit the first stitch, okay? Now, if you pull too hard on this stitch, that's what can cause a puckering right in here, and we don't want that. So you want to kind of leave it a little bit loose. You don't want to stretch it crazy, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and knit across the entire first sock and also across the second one, and then I'm going to turn around and go back across both sides of those also. Okay, so the last stitch right there. All right, I've done the first round in my new color. So now I'm going to start the second round, and here is where the fun stuff starts. Get everything organized over here. We'll push this guy back this direction. Get this guy on this needle. Okay, so now, this is easy to forget, so please try to remember. This is the second round. We've already done the first round in the new color. So what you're going to do is you're going to slip that very first stitch onto the other needle and do nothing with it, okay? Now I'm going to go into this one. Now this live yarn back here that I'm using, okay, is going to go behind this stitch here, Okay, so you can see that this stitch is undone. Nothing is happening with it, okay? Now, you don't want, see how there's a strand stretched back here? You don't want that to be too tight. You want that to be a little bit loose since we're skipping a whole entire stitch right there. So when you knit this second stitch, don't pull it too tight. And then you're going to keep going just like this all the way to the next sock. So let me just pause here for a moment. So once you get to this second sock, you're also going to slip this first stitch that you made on your first round in the new color, okay? So let me show you kind of what that looks like. If I turn this sideways, you can see that right here, can you see that kind of glaring mistake there, that white stitch that's sticking out right there? That is a mistake. I forgot to slip that first stitch so you can really see the step that it makes. But in all the other ones, thankfully, I remembered and it looks a lot better. So it actually doesn't get rid of the step entirely, but that first slip just camouflages it so it's not glaringly obvious like that one is right there. Let's see. I think that's all you need to get started. There's nothing super crazy here. After you do your cast on, you're going to do a 1x1 rib for 12 rounds, and then you're going to knit for 4 rows, change color, knit for 4 rows, change color. So there's nothing really crazy we're doing pattern-wise, and we're not purling, which is my least favorite thing to do. No, doing dishes and cleaning my room is the least favorite thing of mine to do. So purling is not so bad. But there's no purling in here, so it's great. It goes nice and fast. You just have to remember to slip those first stitches on your rows and make sure they're loose so that you don't pucker the side. Okay. That's all you need to get started. So get your 8 rows of the contrasting color. In my case, it's the granite. It's the dark gray color. And I will meet you back here for the heel flap after that.